All right, so check this out. Yet another Trump voter is currently in the finding out phase of their support for Donald Trump. They backed him, they voted for him, and now Donald Trump has stabbed them in the back and thrown them under the bus because recently a Trump voter's wife was detained by ICE during her green card interview. So she was trying to become legal, get the proper documentation to remain in the country, continue to work a job, pay her taxes, take care of her children, and the Trump administration just snatched her up and now has put her into deportation proceedings. So I want to get into this article with you and kind of break it all down. But first and foremost, let's take a look at this news report from ABC 10, who interviewed both the husband and the wife over their support for Donald Trump and the current situation that they find themselves in. Just take a look here.
Voted for Trump. How do you feel now?
Horrible. Horrible.
What did you vote for?
I voted for change, but I didn't vote for this change.
Through tears, wearing an ICE-issued uniform, Cynthia Oliveira begs the Canadian government for help.
I really do need their help. I don't want to be in here.
The mother of three is currently being held by ICE at this detention center in El Paso.
I just want to pause here briefly before we continue. I mean, just look at this detention center. Realize that so many people who haven't committed significant crimes, have been working in the United States, paying taxes, are currently in this detention center, which truly does look like a prison. They're being treated like trash. This is what the Trump administration is doing. And I wonder if this family that we're talking about right now was thinking 8 or 9 months ago when everybody was voting in the 2024 election that their vote would lead them to the situation they find themselves in, where this man's wife is sitting in this prison-like detention facility because Donald Trump doesn't value them or their work or their taxes or their patriotism to this country.
El Paso, Texas. She says her nightmare started on June 13th when she went to her green card interview.
You thought you were going to be getting your green card, but instead they arrested you. Did they trick you?
Yes.
They said, look, she's getting deported immediately.
Cynthia's husband, Francisco, is a U.S. citizen. She says her parents brought her to the United States from Toronto when she was just a little girl.
The USA is my country. That's where I met my husband. That's where I went to high school, junior high, elementary. That's where I had my kids.
And like her husband, she too supported President Trump's promise to launch the largest deportation program of criminals in American history.
My wife is up until 18 days ago, was a strong believer in what was going to happen the next 4 years. But we feel totally blindsided, betrayed.
Wow. Blindsided and betrayed. And look, this is a story that we continue to see around the country where people who were loyal to Donald Trump finally realize that he is not loyal to them. He will throw them under the bus at any given opportunity if it helps him politically, which obviously Donald Trump believes that this does. And when I see stories like this, I have two parts of me. The first part is saying, like, how could you have not seen this coming? Right? Like, when Donald Trump was talking about the largest deportation campaign in history, and he wasn't just saying criminals, he was saying everybody, did they just not think it applies to them too? Is it kind of this selfishness where they think, yeah, this will hurt everybody else, but not me? They can't envision themselves being in that situation. And then the other part of me genuinely feels bad for families like this because yes, they voted for Donald Trump, but the goal of politics is making people's lives better regardless of political affiliation. And so when I see families like this or just immigrant families being ripped apart, whether it be the mother, the father, the brother, the sister, whoever in the family is being deported, detained, whatever it might be, I genuinely feel bad. Like, I don't get joy from talking about these things. You know what I mean? And I want to give you more specifics on this story. Oliveira had been spending years navigating a lengthy and complex immigration process to get her green card. And on the day of her arrest, listen to this. This is truly sinister stuff. A security guard asked her if her name was Cynthia. She confirmed it, and the guard let her proceed. Shortly afterward, she was called into an interview room to answer questions from an immigration official while her husband waited outside. After she gave her statement, ICE agents entered the room, and the interviewer never returned. She stood up and then was handcuffed. Quote, as we just heard, he said, "We felt blindsided," adding, "I wanted my vote back." In 1999, immigration officials at the Buffalo border crossing issued her an expedited removal order after finding out she'd been residing in the U.S. without legal status. For the next 25 years, she worked in Los Angeles, paid taxes, and supported her family while trying to build a better life. And listen to this. In 2024, she received a work permit under the Biden administration, allowing her to work in the country legally. Now, isn't that just insane? Joe Biden, the guy that they despised, gave her and this family the opportunity to remain in the United States as one, gave her the opportunity to continue to be in the United States, work her job, pay her taxes, take care of her kids. And then they voted for Donald Trump, and now look where they are. Their family is being destroyed right in front of their eyes. And the interesting thing here, which is quite unsurprising, is that ICE and the Department of Homeland Security are standing by this decision. A DHS Secretary Assistant gave a statement to Newsweek saying that, yeah, she was issued a final order of removal in 1999. She was deported to Canada, re-entered the country. She will remain in ICE custody pending removal to Canada. We encourage all undocumented immigrants to take control of their departure with the CBP Home app. The United States is offering undocumented immigrants $1,000 and a free flight to self-deport. Insanity. So they're going to deport this woman. This family, again, a MAGA family, just got ripped at the seams, and ICE is standing by it. There is no remorse. There's no saying, hey, well, maybe we'll take a deeper look at this case because she hasn't really committed any crime. She's just been here working for the past 25 years. There's none of that. They're doubling down. And the thing about this is that it's widely unpopular as Trump supporters begin to realize what they actually are getting, what they actually voted for. Many of them are turning on Donald Trump. Many of Donald Trump's most vocal critics are turning on Trump. Like, for example, in a recent Joe Rogan podcast episode, Joe Rogan called out this insanity where work sites, construction sites are being raided by ICE and people are being arrested in masses and deported. Just take a look at what Joe Rogan said in a recent episode.
Yeah. We were told there would be no, well, there's two things that are insane. One is the targeting of migrant workers, not cartel members, not gang members, not drug dealers, just construction workers showing up in construction sites and raiding them, gardeners.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Or Palestinian students on college campuses. Or not, like, there's a did you see this video of this Turkish students at Tufts University that wrote an essay, and then there's a video of like ICE agents, like, I don't know.
Is that the woman?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was her essay about? It was just critical of Israel, right?
It's critical of Israel. Yeah, I mean,
And that's enough to get you kicked out of the country.
I mean, there's a long history of anti-colonial activism in U.S. colleges, that led to South Africa changing and all of that, and I think this is a continuation of that.
Yeah. I mean, even Joe Rogan, the guy who had Trump on his podcast, said that he fully endorses him, things of that nature. Even Joe Rogan is saying it's a step too far. And the thing that makes it even worse, even after ICE has doubled down on a lot of these decisions to deport people and arrest people like that Trump supporter's wife, Donald Trump just made the situation even worse because the one big beautiful bill, which is really a very ugly bill, just gave a bunch of money to ICE, making it the largest law enforcement agency in the United States. The ACLU even confirmed this, saying with over $170 billion in this bill, ICE will become the largest law enforcement agency in the U.S. with a bigger budget than most of the world's militaries. Armed with this funding, the administration will be able to multiply its violent raids and detain over 750,000 children, parents, and longtime residents in remote detention camps where even now people are dying, of course. So yet another story where a Trump voter is finding out that Donald Trump doesn't actually care about them and never has. So anyway, I will leave the video there. I just had to break this story down for you. Thank you so much for watching. It really means the world. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. Drop a like on the video, comment. Let me know what you think about this story. Of course, I'm always interested to hear what you have to say. And as I always say, thank you very much for being here and have an amazing rest of your day.